Alright guys, there's some stubborn fish down there that don't want to bite the swim bait. So we got a little something going on. That one's scared, it's not on point. I got 1/4 ounce or 3/16. I'll go with the 3/16, a little lighter head. First skin jaw dropper. Sometimes I like that smaller hook because these fish are very pressured. You want to be as low profile as possible. Take that off right there. Didn't come out too good, but oh well. So this bait will give you that roll you want still, but with the harder twitches when they're following it, this bait would dart. Let's see if we get them now. Hopefully we trick these stubborn fish to bite. Try to get one to go. This is usually the dead time. You know, we have that early morning bite. That's usually the window. It dies for a while and then it picks back up during the evening. So play around with that for a bit. There we go. First cast on the 2. Seen that fish following it. There we go. Look at that. Here it is. Alright guys, it's another good one. It's a 4-pounder. .6, 4.65. I guess 4.6. You know, there's so much fishing pressure today, and it's really that dead time. The swim bite isn't really there right now. So, and if you guys are interested, I'll have the link in the description below for the jig head and the Sakamoto shed. You can also find them locally here at 559 Fresno Bait and Tackle. But yeah, first cast with it, got those fish to bite. You know, I was throwing the swim bait on them and they would just keep following it. Figured I just want to catch some fish. All right guys, took off that little one, put on a heavier jig head with a bigger Sakamoto shad. This is an 8-inch Sakamoto shad. I'm gonna do the same thing. The thing is that these fish are really in onto that big bait, so if it's not really that big of a bait, they're not gonna follow it, so they're gonna lose interest into it real quick. So I'm gonna throw this guy because it has a lot more draw power. You know, sometimes they'll follow it, but they won't stay on it long, unlike a bigger profile like this, closer to that bigger swim bait kind of stuff. They'll see it from farther away and they'll actually stay on it longer. So what I'm doing is actually I'm throwing this out, I'm letting it fall down high in the water column where these trout are actually swimming around, and they'll come up and stalk it. And what this bait will do, it'll just kind of roll, and then when they get hot on it, then you can start giving some hard pops. This thing with this jig head has this slip right here, so what that'll cause it to do is it'll dart side to side. It's a really good method to get these fish to trigger and bite. So yep, gonna try it around, see if we get any bites, and then probably move off of it and go back and throw some swim baits. The wind's picking up, so the swim bait bite might kind of come back, so gonna go do that for a bit. But this is just for these stubborn fish for the dead times. Alright guys, 5.5 right there, guys. Another one, good one. Hey, little buddy. You guys look, that's a pretty small hook, but you can actually kind of want a smaller hook on these bait because it gives the bait a lot more action. When they come and bite this thing, they just inhale the whole thing. I mean, I've seen fish hit, 10, 11-inch baits and stuff and just inhale those. This is just a little tiny little bait fish for them. So yep, a little jig head like that gives the bait a little more freedom. Alright, I think I kind of spooked these fish already, so pull a few of them out to get kind of wary of what's going on, and gotta leave them, maybe come back to them later. But we're gonna go throw the swimmers for a bit. If they don't bite that, I'll come back and give them the little finesse. 2-pounder. 2.5. 2.5. Little guy. Alright guys, little 3-pounder eating and hogging her. Thanks, man. Go, guys. Doing that swim bait. Getting these followers, but won't commit. But put on that jaw dropper. Man, it's like a good one. $6.1. Alright guys, 6.1. Good earner. So lately I've been playing around with bigger Sakamata shads with a first-gen jaw dropper head. It's a pretty unique head. You guys seen in some of my previous videos. I fished this head a lot for a lot of my minnow style baits. It still gives you that roll action you want, but the unique head gives it that darting action if you want to fish a little bit more aggressive, give these fish a little something different to see. So if you got followers and you give it some hard snaps or pops, this thing will dart around like an ice jig, so you can trigger these fish to bite, which is a bigger minnow type bait. I've been very successful lately, especially around these big swim bait fish. These fish are really keyed in on that larger profile. If it's something smaller like a 4 or 5 inch minnow, they lose interest in it right away, and they don't follow as long as they do with the bigger Sakamata shad. This is the 8 inch and the 7 inch and the 6 inch. Even though this jig head is pretty small with a smaller hook, I prefer that on a bigger bait like this, just because it gives the bait a little bit more freedom, more realism. That's what I've been catching a lot of these fish on when I can't get them to go on the swim bait. It's really hard to get them on anything else just because they're so keyed in on those trout. You can find them locally at 559 Fresno Bait and Tackle. There's the first gen jaw dropper, and as well as the depth Sakamata shad, and you can find these locally as well. The 6 inch may be a little bit harder to find, but the 7 and the 8 inch aren't that hard to find because not a lot of people buy the 7 and the 8 inch. Yeah, that was what I switched up to get those stubborn fish to bite. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.